Most foundrymen will recognize this machine as an Osborne ramjolt squeeze pin lift molding machine. From the sound, they will immediately know that this particular machine is equipped with Osborne's exclusive and patented ramjolt, the hard, effective mold ramming mechanism. Before the introduction of ramjolt, Osborne engineers concluded that if jolting were possible during the squeeze, the effective squeeze could be increased at least 50% over the theoretical squeeze based on the squeeze piston alone. This one principle was responsible for the development and introduction of the exclusive Osborne ramjolt mechanism. Production models of Osborne foundry equipment utilizing ramjolt quickly proved this theory. Reports from foundries everywhere gave evidence that ramjolt units were providing a steady, efficient flow of dense, uniform, superior quality molds. To a proud name that has served the foundry industry for nearly a century was added the first of two features that would keep Osborne the leader in the industry.
To Osborne, the results of ramjolt were exciting. With ramjolt, we had achieved mold uniformity, density, hardness, and fidelity to pattern. The results were a total acceptance of the principle, with one exception: noise. This was the sound that made ramjolt work: metal striking metal. We knew we had to project an acceptable noise level in anticipation of rigid environmental standards that were soon to follow. Our initial objective was to reduce noise to approximately this level. This was to be our challenge. From this to this. And still deliver superior mold quality. Our engineers began another long-range development program, one that would enlist every possible avenue of research. We had to perfect a noise-controlled jolt mechanism.
Perfect a noise-controlled jolt mechanism. This was the assignment. Osborne engineers undertook a research program that would last for nearly 5 years. The objective: reduce noise levels. Iron would work. The noise wouldn't. Find a substitute. Chemical experts were recruited. Compounds, hundreds of them, were formulated, mixed, molded, tested, and scrapped. Rubber, wood, plastics, metals, combinations, laminations. Thousands of formulas were tried. One material worked for the ram insert, failed as the strike ring. Revise the formula and test again. Reduce noise levels. All initial testing was conducted on actual foundry machines in the Osborne laboratory. A solid steel plate was mounted on the table to simulate mold weight. Sample inserts and rings were built into Osborne stock equipment, and the testing began. Testing that would run for hours, days, months. Evaluations, calculations, measurements, endurance, widths, profiles, wear projections, involving literally thousands of precision readings on hundreds of samples. failures were frequent. One material that showed promise on one type of machine would fail on another. What was the common denominator? Why didn't the same material that worked on the ram prove as effective for the anvil jolt ring? Each failure was cut apart, analyzed, re-evaluated, and changes made in the next formula. Everything was recorded with cushioned equipment, sensitive to a fault. Highly sophisticated techniques were developed to detect internal force variations adversely affecting the material. Every test conducted included a total cycle with both an anvil jolt and the ram jolt squeeze action. Critical factors in venting and cooling the cylinder itself were to be considered. Initial calculations, checking and cross-checking, design features, compounds, heat, friction, tolerances, stress and strain. Toughness is vital. Too much is trouble. Not enough? Out of the question. How far? How wide? How deep? Questions like these were asked here and answered. Gauged by sound meters and more complicated equipment, the quest went on. The challenge, reduce noise levels. Finally, the challenge was met. A new name was added to Osborne's proud reputation as the leading manufacturer of foundry equipment. That name was Whisperarm, a patented noise-controlled jolt mechanism. The research, the prototypes, the field testings have done their work. Now Osborne equipment with Whisperarm moved into reality with heat, cold, sand, impact, all in varying degrees. Keencast Incorporated, Griffith, Indiana, specified 2 more Osborne ramjolt squeeze pin lift machines for a new facility. By now, Whisperarm noise-controlled jolt was standard equipment. 2 Model 719 RJW Osborne machines were installed, one for the drag, the other for the cope. Keencast immediately endorsed the new noise control feature. Excellent mold quality, improved working environment. As more machines were built, Whisperarm features were installed. Osborne's famous rotolift machine was converted. The small ramjolt squeezer was next, and on it went. Machine after machine with Whisperarm noise-controlled jolt. The sweat, the dedication, the research was paying off. These Osborne machines are at Stuck Casting Division of Stuck Mold Works Incorporated, Lancaster, Ohio. Today, a single line of 10 Osborne machines run side by side, day after day, making hard, dense, uniform molds to exacting specifications for both glass mold castings and a wide variety of jobbing work. Jolt, rollover, squeeze, draw and close molds mechanically using large match plate patterns. All of these operations with one operator and one machine, the Osborne Rotolift. Seven newer machines include 4 ramjolt squeezers and 3 large rotolifts, all with Whisperarm components. As Stuck orders more machines for their expanding needs, the call to Osborne asks for, quote, more Whisperarm machines. F.E. Myers Company built a new foundry in Ashland, Ohio. They, too, specified Osborne machines, a pair of Model 722 RJW ramjolt squeeze strippers with Whisperarm noise-controlled jolt. Automatic controls include powered movement of the squeeze head and pre-selecting of jolt and squeeze times. Osborne's exclusive oil-controlled pattern draw stroke guarantees smooth, accurate stripping. Roller stripping frames and roll-on, roll-off extensions ease flask and mold handling. Other than the two machine operators, a third man sets cores and assists with the closing of the cope and drag halves. This cope and drag setup at F.E. Myers Company yields efficient production of larger, tight flask molds. Just another example of the flexibility offered by Osborne's line of ramjolt squeeze stripper machines. All of this, and effective noise control, too.
After nearly 5 years of research, the ideas and testing have done their work. They have given us the answers. Foundries using our equipment offer testimony that the two features giving our equipment distinct advantages over other machines are ramjolt and now Whisperarm, the first truly effective noise-controlled jolt. At Osborne, we are always abreast of changing requirements for foundry machines. Several years back, we anticipated the need for noise reduction and initiated a program that led to our Whisperarm. When requirements change for any reason, we do something about it.
The Osborne Manufacturing Corporation of Cleveland, Ohio, has served the foundry industry for nearly a century as the leading pioneer and producer of foundry production machinery. The background, the experience, the expertise necessary to design and build quality foundry production machinery to consistently produce high-quality castings is the very foundation of the Osborne reputation. From the outset, the Osborne creed demanded the highest standards for workmanship, for equipment, for materials, and quality control. By placing a high emphasis on standardization, Osborne stabilizes designs and assures the customer a much greater degree of reliability. A foundryman, any foundryman, is primarily concerned with one result, the end product, his product, castings. A volume of high-quality castings out the door. Osborne is only too aware of this fact. It's the motivating force that demands that all of Osborne's foundry equipment be built to machine tool standards. Quality is synonymous with all of Osborne Foundry products. Products that include stationary swing head ramjolt squeeze molding machines, Inliner, a total automatic mold production system, automatic cross-loop mold production systems, automatic match plate machines, rotolift, manually operated match plate molding machines, ramjolt, squeeze stripper pin lift molding machines, quick core, a complete line of core machines for cold box and hot box production, load runners, idler rollers, and shock guard shock absorbers, all familiar Osborne trade names. And a new member of the Osborne line, a continuous flaskless horizontal stack molding machine for vertically parted molds. No other company in the world places as much importance on research, on finding the answers, on the future, as does the Osborne Manufacturing Corporation. This is a fact. What does it mean? What does it all add up to? One thing: quality. The finest equipment built. The best.